In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 traits most starseeds have and don't even know it. These are going to be traits that I show you how you can become aware of them and then how you can navigate through having these traits in reality so that you're able to show up more as who you prefer to be. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, we're going to go down the rabbit hole a little bit more with starseeds, which is an idea that I've been sharing with the channel within the last couple months. Starseeds have to do with understanding our multidimensional nature, understanding that right now on the planet, there is this awakening that's happening, and part of this awakening is many people coming to know that they go beyond just the 3D avatar body, what we're made to believe we are as we grow up, as we identify with our senses. And what many people are becoming aware of is that they have connections to different aspects of themselves beyond just this ego body. And if you want more information on this, you can meditate and go within and you'll find out and start to understand more about yourself. Other things you could do though is there's some sources, the Law of One, very powerful books, Bashar, or that Dolores Cannon's work. There's many different sources that you can look to that can help give you more of this information. You kind of see what resonates with you. But in general, going more within, when I went through my awakening, this was an aspect of it, is understanding the starseed aspect of it, which even back then for me was so esoteric and so kind of out there. But I became more and more comfortable with it as time went on. And right now on the planet, people are waking up to who they are. Now, first things first, when we talk about starseeds, understand this. Because I say this in the videos because the thing I don't want to see happen is sometimes people will really cling on to the idea of being a starseed and the label. So always I preface videos with saying that if you feel like you are a starseed, understand that a starseed is somebody who's waking up to who they are and their connections to the stars, which include other connections that you have. However, every single person on the planet is a starseed. They just may not know it because every person on the planet is multidimensional. Now there's a certain context that we use with starseeds, and the idea is that we came here to remember who we are so that we could then help other people remember who they are. So in a way we were seeded, and it's like almost sometimes, I guess you could say, some starseeds may not have as many earth experiences as some other people, but I think it just really depends. I myself feel like I've had probably, I don't know, I know I've had different earth connections here. It's not like, you know, as a starseed, you just come from higher dimensions into this reality for this time and transition in consciousness. Many of us have connections here, and I think that's why in Dolores Cannon's book, she says that many of us, Dolores Cannon, for those of you that don't know, she got to a deep level of hypnosis, and her process is called QHHT. And when people are in this deep level of hypnosis, their higher self comes through. And one common thing that people say is that they heard the call. At the soul point of view, they heard the call and they decided that they had to come here for this time on the planet right now. And many, many, many different people that she's had in this state, and their subconscious mind coming through, has said a similar thing. And a lot of these people are from all over the world. They don't even know them, know each other. So you, my guess, has also heard the call at a certain level. You may have chosen to come back to help Earth go through this shift in consciousness. Most of the people awakening right now on the planet are people that wanted to wake up first, because as time goes on, more and more people are going to be waking up to who they are. And like I said, the thing that I say, don't get too attached to is just the name of Starseed, because sometimes we almost make an identity out of it, and then it's like we identify with it. And some of the traits of being a starseed sometimes is sometimes people feel lonely. Sometimes we feel like people don't get us. Or I know when I went through my spiritual awakening, I was sharing this information with everyone. A lot of people just thought it was crazy, but it's something you only learn once you start to experience it, once you start to go into meditation, or you start to go even through a journey of just seeing what resonates with you and what doesn't, if you start reading like the Law of One or material such as that. So in general, being a starseed is being aware that you are multidimensional, and that right now on the planet there is what in the Law of One is called a graduation, a harvest. The harvest is where people have the opportunity to go from the third density state of consciousness into a fourth density state of consciousness, which is something we all have the ability to tap into right now. It's something that's happening, but us as starseeds are bringing through energy from higher vibrational places. So we're all connected. We have these multidimensional existences. Every single night when we go to bed, we connect to this level of consciousness, but we forget about it when we wake in the morning. And a lot of it is because if we were to know that in the higher realms we feel like unconditional love, joy, and peace, we get flexibility with time and space and all these things, if we knew that here, one, it would distract us. Two, you would just want to probably go there the whole time. It'd be hard for you to concentrate here. So we forget that. And we start to have more and more remembrance. And that's what's happening right now on the planet, is more and more starseeds, more and more people are remembering this connection, because then that's helping us to bring through more of our true information, more of our true vibration, which is then helping the planet. And one of the reasons for this too, before I get into those traits, is we knew that in order to influence this reality, we had to incarnate within it itself. A lot of times people say, why don't just you choose land and all of this stuff? Well, the way that it works in our reality is we have free will as a society. So the only way that it's going to happen is if it's coming through us, if we allow it to happen, if we're actually ready for it. And a lot of people on the planet think they're ready for it, but they're not. And the way that we become ready for it is we raise our consciousness, we become more open-minded, we become more loving to each other. And while being more loving to each other, we're then more likely to perceive of something like that. But at a higher level of consciousness, we knew that the way that we would influence reality the most is by incarnating within the system, forgetting who we are completely, which is a little bit dangerous for some of us. Some of us were scared to do that because we knew that if there's a chance that we have free will, there's a chance we could get kind of caught up. And if we get caught up, then maybe we go down and we start to accumulate karma or something like that if we're unaware. So we knew there was a little bit of a risk, but we were willing to take that. And if you're here right now, then it's a very powerful time, and it's a very empowering thing to know, because you're on the path, you're on a higher vibrational path of finding out more of who you are and open to this information. Now, one of the most common traits that I see, and of that many starseeds have, is this double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword between either one, being a people pleaser, wanting other people to be happy, wanting other people to feel happy. I know when I went through my spiritual awakening, I wanted everyone else to feel the same thing I was going through. And I wanted everyone else to understand what it's like to tap into these deeper aspects of ourselves, this whole starseed information. I wanted everyone to know, and I went out and I told everyone. And a lot of people that couldn't understand it thought that I was crazy, or they're like, what is he talking about? But it's something that you only really know from within, and it's something that you may have a desire to share all this information. But the key is to not necessarily try to go out there and share it in that way. It's to instead embody the information. Because it's funny, now I just embody what I believe in, and more people find me than ever before. And more and more people resonate because they see I'm so grounded. I don't care what people think. I don't care if people believe in this whole idea of starseed. I don't care. A lot of people will look at it and be like, oh, it's really weird. Or they'll have their own perspectives of it. But I realized that my goal in life was not to come here just to meekly put out information. I want to be somebody that's just always expressing what I believe and what I feel. And that's one aspect. Now the shadow aspect, there's a different aspect. It's not really even the shadow aspect. It's either being a people pleaser or being a rebel. I have a little bit of both. I'm actually I'm very much a rebel, to be honest with you. It may have also been because of my past. Many of you may have heard my story, as I talk about in a lot of YouTube videos, is my past with having a controlling ex-stepmom in my life. Maybe I went through a lot of control, having a military type way of growing up. Maybe I had some of that because that led me to then eventually, in a way, rebelling against being told what to believe and being told what to do. And many starseeds have this rebel-like mentality because they know that they didn't come here to just abide by certain rules and abide by a certain system. They knew that they came here to help change the system, to challenge the status quo, to challenge a way that's been going on for so long, but felt like something's got to change. So have you felt like that? Have you felt like a rebel in certain aspects? Maybe certain aspects you've been afraid to move forward with that, but you kind of look around and you're like, I don't think reality is supposed to be this way. I look around at the government, I look around at certain things, and I just feel like, this doesn't, it's not something I can even really relate to. To get charged up about being this way or this way in the political system, it's just like, to me, it just seems like the whole system itself is just kind of a thing of its own. It's like a pendulum in of itself. But when it comes to us understanding more about who we are and understanding that a lot of us came here to shake up things in the world. Doesn't mean we have to be resistant and we have to tell people what to believe. It just means we have to be aware that that's a common trait that we have. I know a lot of starseeds also have the rebel trait in school. I did too. I did decent, I did good in school. Up to a certain point. There was a certain point that I switched. I said, okay, I'm just going to do this, and I did it, and I was good. But before that, complete rebel. And even then, even after school, I went to college for a while, and then eventually I was like, you know what? I want to own my own business. I don't want to do this just because I'm expected to do this, because I have some family members that want me to do this. I want to do what I want to do. And many starseeds will feel like they want to rebel against what they're expected to do or what society thinks they should do. You know, going to the traditional healthcare system. I'm a rebel just in many different ways. But it's a common trait that a lot of starseeds have, is they rebel against the status quo. And it's because at a deep level, many of them know that they came here to make change. So this is something to be aware of. But what I would suggest, the advice I would give with this, is instead of trying to see it as like change other people, is what I've learned. Focus more on just being yourself. And I know it sounds cheesy, I know it sounds cliche, but just focus on living in the transformation that you've experienced instead of trying to share it with everyone else and get everyone else on board. When in the beginning of my spiritual awakening, when I was trying so hard, people were more resistant because I was trying to show them a better way of living. But instead what I did is, a couple years later, I learned, I'm just going to embody what I teach. I'm just going to embody this way of being, and I don't care who comes on board and thinks it's cool. And once I had that mentality, the paradox is then more and more people are like, what is that all about? Oh, you're eating this kind of way? What is that? How is that? How do you feel? Blah, blah, blah. Now people want to know. So it's like the idea of being vegan. If someone's vegan and they go around telling everyone like, you should be vegan, you should be vegan, everyone should be vegan, many people will feel resistant. They're like, bro, just let me eat my food. Let me do my thing. But if instead you were to lead by example and just have a very high vibrational energy and you just feel really good, and you see some people get sick a lot and you're just like, you never have to get sick and you just feel so good, and it's because you don't believe you get sick, plus you eat very healthy, and you live by that example, then many people will perceive of that, and then they will say something like, oh, what are you doing that's allowing you to live like that? You see, it's like, then you allow them to come to you. But when you try to force it, people feel the resistance. So that's what I've learned with that. Now, the second trait that many starseeds have, and they may not be aware of it, is a feeling of being empathic. Some people may be aware of this, but some people don't. Some people think they're feeling their own emotions, but what happens is they're feeling the emotions of family members, they're feeling emotions of their friends, they feel very, if someone's having a bad day and like venting that to them, they'll start to feel it, and they'll think it's their own. But the key is to be aware of this. Now I'm going to share with you the advice for this as well. But being empathic, one of the reasons a lot of starseeds are empathic is because many of us came here to transmute energy. So when we are able to transmute energy, we then sometimes will try to take on other people's energy to transmute it, because we're all in a way conductors of energy. So what happens is we will take on other people's problems. I know one of the faults in my life is I'm a fixer. I like to fix people, which doesn't really work. I feel good and I want everyone else to feel good too. So what do I have to do to get you to feel good? Let me take on your problems. Let me give you abundance so that you can figure this out. Let me help you out, which actually ends up really enabling a lot of people, and I've learned that now more than ever. So I had this conversation with my dad the other day, because my dad is very similar. My dad's always been kind of that fixer archetype, like the hero archetype, the fixer. And I realized in my own life that I'm kind of I have kind of control, like I try to control things a lot. Because maybe I didn't have a lot of control growing up because of what I went through. So my goal was like, I want to help other people get a hold of their lives, but I tried to do it in a way that I had to like take control of my own life. I'd have my own discipline, and because I know what to do, I'm like, oh, I know what everyone else needs to do. But a lot of people aren't ready for that or are there for that. But what I've realized is that I have to let go and allow other people to be, and to know that that's part of their journey, that's part of their process. But I can be there and just being myself. And that sometimes just being yourself, my dad told me on the phone the other day, he's like, you know, what I learned, you know, because my dad's like 50-something years old now, is like, sometimes the key's not to fix, the key's just to listen. The key's just to be there. And to just be you. Doesn't mean you have to be there like, oh my goodness, you're going through all this stuff, but just to be there, and just to be like a beacon of light. Starseeds are beacons of light. That's what they're called, light workers. Light workers and starseeds can be, many of them are both. Many of us are both. And once again, they're just labels. But now more than ever, you may be aware that you're transmuting energy, but you feel like you're taking on the energy of everyone around you. And the key to this is having boundaries. It's having boundaries. And sometimes that can be hard, because you may have lived your whole life kind of being that people pleaser and trying to get other people to like be happy. But having boundaries sometimes means saying no when people want to put their stuff on you, or saying no when someone's asking you for something, like, can you do this for me? And if you do it a number of times, you realize that you're enabling. It's having boundaries with yourself and knowing that you have to be in a high vibe for you to actually add value to other people. You know, I've had to increase my boundaries over the years, because now that I do what I do for a living with making videos and putting out so much content, if something off-puts my vibration for a day or two, that's a day or two of putting out energy that also helps other people. If my energy isn't high, then I'm not able to add as much value to people. But if I keep my vibe high, then I'm gonna keep my tribe. I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that rhymed. But in general, it's about understanding, yes, we're empathic. Many people can feel other people's energy, but it's about learning how to navigate through it. It's not about putting us inside a little cave. I remember I saw Eckhart Tolle once. He was like a little window thing, and then we just like stood here like this. You remember? You know, I remember seeing that. I thought it was funny. He says it's Eckhart Tolle. You know what I mean? And when it's like we're not meant to like lock ourselves in a room, but it's being aware of how we navigate through it, like us showing up powerfully in the world, you know, and just being okay with being ourselves and being okay with other people being themselves. You know, sometimes by allowing other people to just be themselves, a lot of times they'll transform anyways, because some people are used to people always expecting them to be different, always having expectations. So being empathic, this is a common trait that many starseeds have. Many don't know they even have it. And it's something that people are becoming aware of now and drawing better boundaries. Now, the third trait many starseeds have is this desire and feeling that they have a great mission. This isn't just an ego, like, I am very special, and in a past life I was Cleopatra, or whatever. It's about knowing that we came here with a mission to help wake up the planet. If you're watching this video, especially this far into the video, then that includes you. You knew that at a deep level, you had a certain mission. And you never maybe were able to put your finger on it, but you knew that there was just some big mission there. And you might not know what that is, but you know that it's there. And one of these traits includes feeling this urge, this willingness, this desire to do more. Like there's this speeding up where you have to do more, you have to become more. And that urgency is because at a deep level you knew that this lifetime is the lifetime of transformation on the planet. And you knew that deep down you had a great purpose with that. And you do have a great purpose with that. And you being yourself is part of that starseed mission. And I know it sounds cliche, but by you being yourself, you will align yourself vibrationally to the things that allow you to express yourself. And maybe art, and maybe through vlogging, and maybe, you know, a lot of people that watch my content don't know this yet. But if you're open to this content right now, you may eventually be spreading this message via videos, via writing, via Instagram, via social media, whatever the social media will be in the future. Because as time goes on, there will be an explosion of people wanting to learn more and more about this. So in a way, it's a uniting of light workers, a uniting of starseeds. It's happening right now on the planet. I see it more and more every single day. And you may have had this, you know, another trait that I realize as well is you look around, and sometimes I look around and I think, not in a judgmental way, this can be a dangerous judgmental perspective. But sometimes I look around and it seems very barbaric here on Earth. Because you may know that in higher realms, this whole war, separation, control, you know at a higher level you don't have to deal with that, and you don't. And many of us don't. Everyone on the planet is multidimensional. Everyone has existences where they don't deal with that. 3D is where there's more of this type of stuff, more of these lower consciousness perspectives. But that's what makes this place so beautiful. In the Law of One, it explains that you can learn so much in a dense place like Earth because of the reality it is, because we have time-space reality where we get to experience things in segments, where in higher realities, immediately you think of something, you experience it. Here, you get to think about it, you get to cultivate it, you get to change it a little bit, you get to act it out, there's different levels to it, and you get to experience it in a deeper, more meaningful way. So looking around, things may appear to be barbaric, but realize you came here to help, to bring through more source energy, more light, more vibration from maybe different extraterrestrial existences that you have. And as you bring through this light, as you bring through this energy, it's going to affect everything else in your life. So the key to this is understanding that these traits you may have. You may identify very strongly with being a starseed, and you are. But understand it's still a label. It's still a label, and understand that you came here to be bold. You came here to shine your light. The other day I saw someone on one of my channels that was saying something about, they used to watch me, but then I started making starseed videos, and it's like, I'm not credible anymore. And I thought to myself, I was like, should I just stick to law of attraction videos and making personal development content? And it made me, what, am I credible? Am I sharing things from a deep place, or am I just reading them in books, But I got to my core and I was like, wait, I've been talking about this since 2012, and I learned most of this in meditation. It's just books are an easy side. If I explain to you my experience, some people are like, okay, that's cool, but that's one person's experience. Okay, well, here's my experience of what I learned in meditation. Here's also like 5 books you can reference from people that have had, like Dolores Cannon has had thousands of QHHT sessions with people, all of which say something similar. The Law of One material is like some of the most profound channel material of all time. It's an easy go-to for people. So I quote books like that, and it made me realize, at the same time, I didn't come here to be the credible person that's still giving personal development advice and law of attraction advice that's very believable. I came here to push the envelope. I came here to dive into these esoteric ideas, and I came here to be bold. And one day, I think this information will be more mainstream. And when it is, I won't be looking back like, oh, I wish I would have played small and just been exactly what everyone else expected me to be so that I could be credible. You see? So be bold. Don't be afraid. Be aware that some people are open, some people are not. But just be yourself. Just be yourself, and understand that by you embodying that vibration and you embodying that light, things in your life will begin to appear to you in very magical ways. Now also, one of the most powerful meditations I've created will help you to bring more of what is called your starseed DNA, or activating you in a very powerful way. Listen to this meditation for 21 days. I think it will absolutely bring more of this information into you, and you'll have more and more synchronicity and more of this kind of awareness within you. It's in the top of the description box below, and read the comments to see what's possible there. It was a really powerful meditation. Now, also, if you haven't already, hit the notification bell. The only way you can see the daily vids on this channel is to hit that button. That's the way YouTube does it now. So I got a lot more good stuff coming. I'm excited to share it with you. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.